Continue celebrating men who are active, responsible fathers. On this day, we now hear from children who highly appreciate the role their father has played in their success. Twins Mvuyisi and Mvuzo Ngosolwane Vili have just returned to the country after spending years in China getting their medical qualifications. Now, they say they owe a lot of that success to their father, who unfortunately died last year. The twins were from Wuhan just before South Africa went into lockdown. Let me say good morning to the two doctors. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Well, good afternoon. It's past 12 now. I was here in the morning. But good afternoon. And let's talk here about Father's Day. And you attribute your father, your success, to a lot of things that your father did. Please talk to us about that.
First of all, I would like to abuse this platform and send solidarity to all the families who fell victim to the COVID-19. I think Father's Day is very important. I think every day should be a Father's Day. And we pay tribute to our father, who unfortunately passed away last year while we were even still in China. We got a call and then they told us that he was sick, we should come back immediately. But unfortunately, he passed away before we could see him. But the role that he played is evident in what we have become today. Being a father is not a position, it's a responsibility. And we are coming from cultures that are epitomes of toxic masculinity, where you are told that as a man, you are responsible for this and this and that. But those roles have got nothing to do with the actual responsibility that you have to play as a father. Now, we are trying to shift society in thinking that men are the heads of households. Actually, men are foundations of households. So when they understand that role as being the foundation of a household, everything in a household goes smoothly. So we pay tribute to our father because they've always taught us on the basics of what being a man is, the responsibilities that we have to play in life, and the respect and the value that we have to give other people.
Now, when you speak about your father, you also say that your father says you must not get married, not have any kids before you get married. That was advice from your father. We're talking about Father's Day. And earlier on, I was talking to another gentleman, and we rolled out a stat that says 60% of the South African children live without their fathers at the present moment. But do you say your father taught you guys do not have any kids before you get married, and that's something that you're sticking to at the present moment?
Yes, that's true. Correctly, we are still sticking to that advice. The main reason why my father was advising against that, because he felt that we'll be doing injustice to children who will be growing up without fathers. Look, when you are a man and you feel a need, or you see a need to lay with a woman, that means you have acquired a certain psychological aspect of becoming responsible. And therefore, if a person is good enough to lay with you in bed, that person is good enough to become a woman that can mold you. So our father has always taught us that it's very difficult for a child to grow up with a single parent or to grow up outside of a family household setting, because that in itself has got certain values within itself. So it can teach people how to correspond and live with each other, how to coexist with each other's different characters and whatnot. So it's an advice that he always kept saying that it is advisable for a man to have children within the ranks of being in a family setting.
You guys, you're pretty young. What do you think is going on at the present moment? Why are we losing a lot of these values? What's happening with the South African male at the moment?
I think we need to redefine what a man is in society. We need to redefine his role in society. I think the problem with most men, they are intimidated by strong women. And that intimidation comes with the lack of self-identity as a man. You know, as believers of the good book, there's a verse that says, "And I will make thee a helper." I know some people may not believe that, but the definition of a helper itself needs to be clarified in society. If you are going to help me with a responsibility, the principle is you should either be as strong as I am as a man or stronger as a man. So I think we have lost it in society, where a lot of cultures and traditional principles have crept into redefining what a man is. And I think we need to correct that, because many men think that in order for you to be, that's why most men again abuse women. It's a lack of identity. It's a lack of a definition of what a true man is and his responsibility. Look, when we talk about men, we talk about provision. when we speak about provision, being a man has been reduced to monetary contributions. It is not. Being a man is very important to say when you are contributing into someone's life, it's not about money. You should provide for an individual emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and all aspects. So it has been reduced in society to provisions, monetary-wise, which I think it's a wrong definition of what a man is, because we do know men that can afford everything, but they are still absent fathers. And when you talk to their children and their partners, they say, I don't need money in my life. I need you to be around and be there. So I think that's what we should redefine in society.
Look, we're coming from a culture, and us speaking as people who are coming from a Xhosa culture, where we need to also look and redefine what we term as a man today. Because listen, we are from a culture and a tradition that practice circumcision as customary law. But we are having meetings to sit down and say, listen, how do we define a man without having to undergo that transition into manhood? Because now we are having a problem of young men and young boys fathering children. And those young boys are supposed to be fathered themselves. So we are coming into a custom and a culture where we need to sit down and open debates about whether a person is fit enough, is suitable enough to be fathering children at certain ages. I know it can be a matter of debate to say that maturity and age does not really, but that's not a problem. But when a young boy of 16 years old fathers a child, and that boy does not have the aspect of becoming responsible, are we not creating a society of fatherless children and absent fathers and so forth?
Yep, you make many valid points there. I just want to shift from Father's Day and just take you back in time a couple of months. You were in Wuhan in China. You were part of the 112 South Africans that were repatriated, and then you spent a couple of weeks in isolation because of you coming from the epicenter of the pandemic at that particular point in time. Talk to me now, and as doctors as well. You know, what do you think of the way we've been handling the pandemic in South Africa, the way government has been handling the pandemic, and just as individuals, because we as the citizens, it's also our responsibility to assist government in everything that they are trying to achieve.
Look, first of all, I think we need to give credit where credit is due. In the context of the Minister, Dr. Zweli Mkhize, you know, I think most of the time that guy is underrated. I think we need to give him credit. He has been up in arms to try and combat the spread of the coronavirus. He is what we redefine as leadership, because in the midst of this panic, it arises true leaders who are going to be able to point out direction. Look, we were in China. China's system with us is different because us were in a democratic dispensation where everyone has got a right to do this and that. So I think it's a contributing factor to say that we are where we are now because of many rights that we have been given. In China, we didn't have that liberty to walk around the streets, to challenge authority to do this and that, because it's very strict and it's, you know, so you people deal with you in a certain way when you're in China. But when we come here, I think what the COVID-19 has showed us, it has redefined our habits. You know, government is doing what it can to try and, you know, keep the spread of the virus. But in some cases, when we sit as individuals or as doctors, we see that it was not permissible for government. Government should have done that. Of the issue of moving from level 3 to level 5, level 2 this and level 2 that, you know, we should be kept in a certain state until people develop a new habit on how to behave. Yeah. Look, now we're in a situation where we have to be each other's policemen and soldiers. You correct someone when they're doing something wrong, because indirectly that person can put you in a great danger to contract the coronavirus. So, but we want to also give solidarity to the frontline responders, as we are ourselves, because we went to Blue Crane Road Municipality and we're in charge of a task team that is busy combating the spread of the coronavirus. And we said to our fellow colleagues, sometimes it may be inevitable that because we are frontline responders, we may contract the virus anyway. Yeah. But after that, when we are all clear, back again and serve our people. That's what we should focus on.
All right, fantastic. Listen, congratulations. I'm glad that you actually right there in the front lines as well, and our condolences for the loss of your father 1 year back. Those are the two twin doctors, Mbuyisi Mvuzo and Solwana Vili, sharing their thoughts about Father's Day.